Hello and welcome back to another video, and in this one we'll be looking at a rather lovely Canon AF35ML film camera. As with most of the videos, I'll tell you a little bit about it, then we'll look over the camera. I'll pop some used film and batteries in so we can do some basic function testing, have a look at the case, and then we'll wrap everything up. So this version here, as you can see, the AF35ML, came slightly after Canon's first one, which was the AF35M. Now that was Canon's first autofocus 35mm camera, and that one came out in 1979, and then shortly after they'd released that one, they then brought out the ML, which was it just kind of had a few tweaks in it, and then after this one in 1983 they then brought out the AF35M2 as kind of the big successor. So this was the stepping stone between their very first one and this one. Some of its functions, so it has a 40mm zoom. Now I'm not a big I'm not a big film photographer. I love it, I'm just not a user of it myself. Apparently 40 is quite a nice usable lens size. On the back you can see it has some function settings, so it's the battery checker, off, on, and a self timer. It has a flash which pops up there, and then obviously you just pop the film in there. You've got your method for removing the film and your batteries. Oh, and there's also kind of, I think, I'm going to say aperture, shutter aperture, or something to do with the ISO that can be adjusted as well. So yeah, let's have a look over that then. So as you can see, the body is in pretty good condition. There's nothing major to really point out. You can see inside the lens there's no clouding, nothing bad going on there. So I'll just focus that on you so you can see. So that's all good. So we're coming around again, all the body's really nice. Battery bay, all okay. I would suggest this looks like something where it might be prone to whenever you have a plastic hinge. I could imagine that's the kind of thing that wears over time. It's absolutely fine on this one. You've got your strap with it as well, other than being a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Absolutely great. So one of the things I noticed, so it's obviously missing its lens cap. They can be sourced fairly readily online. I've noticed there's this, if you fold this thing up, which I think is an optional extra, you can push down this button and it allows you to rotate that inner ring there and change that setting on the top. So whatever that does adjust. Someone I'm sure will tell me in the comments. I don't think it's the ISO, but it could be. So that's a kind of manual maneuver. So I'll pop some batteries in and some used film, and we'll have a look. So basically open up here. It just takes, even though this came out in 1981 when all sorts of random things were going on with camera batteries and still do, this simply takes two AA batteries. So pop those in there and close it down. Now, as I mentioned in these settings, the first one is a battery checker. So all you do is you turn that up there and it simply beeps to tell you that the battery is working. And then let's turn that off and load some film in. So let's put some film in. So everything's really well made, so you kind of have to do a nice concerted click with everything. As you can see, nice and clean inside. I suggest this is either deterioration of kind of the light foam on this side, or it's rubbed off from the other side, but you may wish to replace that. If you're a camera person, you'll probably know to look into that, because there's no guarantee with these that the seal will not let any light in. So again, it's just up to you with your expert's eye if you're a film photographer. So I'm going to use a used film, because I can't put live film in and process them, to test this out. So okay, so we're now going to load some film. The first time round when I was filming this a second ago, I'd forgotten to change the rewind back over to here. So what you do is, when you get to a point when you want to rewind the film, as you'll see in a minute, you depress that button and move this across and rewinds it. I'd forgotten to pop that back, so I'm just refilming this portion. So open up the back, take your film over the top, and then you're just going to seat your film so it's on top of these, and then just feed it round. And that should be all right. Close up the camera. Now you can see at the top we're on S, so if I hit the shutter, so it's moving along. What you can also see, so this gets through your initial ones that would have been exposed to the light. This part here also shows that the mechanism is working, so that's actually moving at my end. It's kind of doing a little thing. Now I'll also demonstrate the flash. So with the flash you just do a nice kind of firm push across to the side, pops up, and you can hear it firing up, charging. And I've seen a lot of these, the flashes don't work. Mind your eyes. But on this one the flash does work, and then when you don't want it, simply manually depress it down. And also I'll show you the self timer working. So if I go to self timer, and then there you can hear it beeping, and I'll show you the aperture operating. There, so you can see it all working. So that's my function testing there. Now I'm going to go off and I'll show you then how you would rewind the film. So you depress this button, move this setting over to the left hand side, and now you can hear it rewinding. I've heard obviously I'm guessing you're supposed to guess when it's just going to keep going and going and going. A lot of them will just stop when they fully rewind. I've heard that it is a noisy camera, so from what I can tell that's all perfectly normal. So yeah, you can see, and then you just put that back and the pin will come out, and then you can see it's fully rewound the film. So that was the function testing on there, and so I'll just show you over to here. So here you have the correct case, Canon AF35ML. It's just got a popper there which kind of sits around there. You've got wear to the leather. These kind of leather cases do that. It's also got a zip, and that works. Japan just down here. Yeah, that's that. One thing I forgot to mention, I can't 100% guarantee it, but in reading a little bit about this camera, apparently this version here, the AF35ML, had the fastest shutter of any camera in the 80s. So yeah, that's everything there. So in summary, this was a really nice Canon AF35ML coming from autofocus 35mm. It was the one in between the 35M and then the 35-2. It's got the 40mm lens. We've got this function here that mechanically changes. I've popped a dead film on batteries in and shown you the battery charge function, the off, the on, the self timer and flash working. You've seen the shutter operate, you've seen the film move forward, and I've also shown you that it also rewinds the film. You just need to manually stop it when it's done. The hinge is fine on there. You've seen the batteries in. It's got the strap, and on top of that you've also got the case, which has some wear, which happens to these leather ones, but it's nice to have the proper case with the camera. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like, share, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out. And until the next one, all the best, take care and see ya.